بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. الحمد لله رب العالمين هو الذي جعلنا مسلمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله الكريم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Just want to keep it down until the brothers finish their Sunnah Salah, inshallah. And to let you know, we have just a short program for you, just between Maghrib Isha. And then tomorrow I have to go to Ohio. This weekend we'll be in Houston, Texas. And so we're constantly moving. Some of you know we just had the ICNA conference this weekend, which was held over in Anaheim. Prior to that, I flew in Thursday from Australia. We spent about nearly over a month, actually, traveling on this trip. We had a chance to go to Sydney. And Melbourne, they opened a new Islamic museum there, and we got that. We went to Adelaide, where they have the oldest masjid there. And then we went from there to the Gold Coast. I looked, but I couldn't find any gold. That's okay. Then we went to the Sun Coast. We did find lots of sun, mashallah. From there, we went back to Sydney. And we had some very good experience over there. We did open up. My goal was to do something big for Islam in Australia. So we opened up what we call Guide Us Australia. And for the benefit of those who don't know about the project, then in our talk we'll be mentioning about it. But Guide Us is the name of our new organization. We started it about 4 years ago. And it started with our old Watch Islam from the internet. We've had that website about 12 years, streaming, information and things about Islam in English language. But the internet is good for the youth and very attractive to people who can afford it. But the vast majority of the people in the world can't really access the internet. A lot of people still don't have it or can't afford it. So we've been working on other ways to get the message out to the people. One of the things that we did, we put Guide Us TV on the apps. Now you can watch it on the apps. Another thing that we did, we got Guide Us Radio started. Guide Us Radio is all over the world. If you have a smartphone, how many of you got a smartphone? Anybody got a smartphone? The rest of you have dumb phones? Is that how it works? Alhamdulillah. Sometimes I think the smartphone is a dumb phone, but that's just because I'm too dumb to try to use it. Yeah, you can't see it from where you're sitting, but I've got two icons right here. One of them right there for Guide Us TV. Well, I'll show you what the logo looks like. Can you see it? That's the logo for Guide Us TV. It has two things in it. It's a message, Edina, which is Guide Us, or Guide US. Yeah, it could be. But the other thing it has is the shield. The shield or logo that you see right there is very similar to the Interstate Freeway, right? If you see the Interstate Freeway, it has but except that is red on top and blue on the bottom. Ours is blue on the top, red on the bottom. Not that that's a big thing, but ours doesn't represent a highway sign. Ours represents a much bigger sign, something far, far, far more important. Guide us is what we say in the prayer. We say, Edina Siratul Mustaqim. That's the only thing you're asking for. You just describe it. That's all. Siratul Ladina An'amta Alayhim, Ghayril Maghdubi Alayhim, Waladhalin. So you're just describing the only thing you said, Ehdina. I need Allah to give me this hidayah, guidance. there's something very special that's going to come up right after that. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Alif, Lam, Mim, that's the beginning of Surah Baqarah. Dhalikul kitabu la rayba fi, hudal lil muttaqin. Okay, so the book, which has no doubt in it, Quran, is the hidayah, the guidance, for those alladina who have a taqwa. Who knows what taqwa means? The word. The word itself. What is taqwa? You know? Fear of Allah? You're not wrong, but I'm looking for a specific word. What does it mean? But yes, exactly true, but what's the word that will do that? Taqwa. Ma fi mushkila. All right. Is anybody here ever play any video games? What are you looking funny for? You're just like, big deal. Okay. I'm just asking you a question. Okay. All right. When you play a video game, there's a monster or some big guy, an enemy, right? He's coming at you. He has a sword. Or he has a laser. Or he has some electricity. Or he's got some stuff he's going to throw on you, right? Now, as you play in the game, maybe you have a weapon, but it's just going to go so far. So you need to have something, you buy it with points. What is it? Did you bring these for me? Well, I'll trade you. You can take that back where you got these, okay? Jazakallah khair. Go give them to that nice person with that giant lehya. MashaAllah. You know, you don't get to keep it. Go give it to him. Anyway, you buy a shield, yes? And the shield then protects you from whatever you're afraid of. The word taqwa, actually in Arabic, one word means a shield. It's your defense against, and that's why it's called righteousness. That's why it's called piousness. That's why it's called fear of Allah. Because you fear, you don't, it's not to say fear Allah. It is to fear what? The ghadab of Allah. Because you said it when you were praying. You said, غَيْرُ الْمَغْضُوبِ عَلَيْهِمْ. Not the ones who have Allah's ghadab, which means wrath. The translators often, they say anger. Those people who have Allah's anger, right? But actually it's wrath. You know the difference? Yeah, anger is like when you're sitting in a place where you have a number, like you get your driver's license, you have to wait and wait and wait. And you sit there and somebody gets ahead of you and you're like, hey, how'd this guy get ahead of me? Or somebody cuts in front of you in a line at the traffic light. You get angry. But wrath, this is when you're going to do something about it. When you're really, really hot, you're going to do something. And not joking. So that's wrath. That's ghadab. So the ghadab of Allah is only going to be once. And Adam alayhi salam is going to tell us on the Day of Judgment, he's going to say, your Lord is angry, ghadab, today, like never been before and never be again. And each of the prophets will say the same thing. And so that's what we're trying to do, is put a shield against that day, against that time when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will deliver the balance. Because a lot of people been getting away with murder. A lot of people have been getting away with a lot of itham, masiyah, really bad stuff. But that's the day they're going to pay. So that's going to come from Allah on that day. And it's going to be really bad. And everybody will be saying, nafsi, nafsi, nafsi. And looking for what? A shield. And what is the shield of the Muslim on that day? Two things have to be together. Not one, two. What are the two things I have to have? Amanu wa amilu salihat. And Allah says this in Surah Baqarah, and again and again and again, so many times, all the way back to Surah Al-Asr. Alladhina amanu wa amilu salihat. Those people who come to the correct iman, the right belief, and they do the mu'amala, the deeds, the actions, which are drawing them closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that's why we use the shield, because we like the idea to remind us and everybody about it. But what makes it nice, you're talking to somebody here in America, right? He's not Muslim, or she's not a Muslim. And when they see this bumper sticker, they're not offended. They don't get scared. They don't run away. It doesn't have a sword to it, say la ilaha illallah in Arabic language. No. It just says, oh. They look at it and they say, oh, it's a highway sign. Okay. And it said, guide us. Okay. TV. Oh, I like TV. Everybody likes TV. Okay, good. But look what the message is. Worship. This is ibadah. Al-Khaliq, the creator. Laysa, not the makhluk, the creation. There it is. Worship the creator, not the creation. Simple. Very simple. And it loosely interpreted is la ilaha illallah. Right there. And you're putting it right on your bumper, driving down the street, and the people are going, hey, that's nice. And then it has Guide Us TV. Nothing on there said Allah, Quran, Muhammad, something going to get your windshield busted, right? No. As a matter of fact, I give these bumper stickers so many places. I'll show you how to do it. When I check out, now you know I have to keep my coat on, see, because I'm going to show you something. When I check out at the restaurant or buy gasoline or anything like this, when I want to talk to the people there, I say, oh, I have something for you. It's a gift. They always say, thank you, right away, right? So I pull it out, piece of paper, then I show it to them. What do you think about this? They say, oh, that's nice. That's nice. Maybe he's Catholic, Protestant, Hindu, Buddhist. Doesn't matter. They like it. When I was in Japan, the Buddhists thought this was great. And you're going to give it to me free? Oh, yeah, no problem. In fact, I'm going to write something on the back of it, a website. You can check it out. Of course, we got a website right there on the front, but you can put something else on the back, your email, whatever you want to. Now, whenever he takes the sticky off, he still gets to keep the paper that he wrote stuff on. And you can write a note on it. It's really nice. If you want to give somebody a card, it's much smaller. It's only about that big. But you give them this whole thing and they'll keep all of it. You write a nice story on the back of it. So that's one advantage. The second thing we did, we took the two most effective, not popular, the most effective of our DVDs, combined this together and put it right on this thing right here. They can listen to this in the car. It's called The Common Sense of Islam. Common Sense of Islam. And then this one, this is for the Muslims. This one explains what Guide Us TV is, how it works, and it tells you that we're getting ready to start it, although that's 3.5 years ago. There wasn't any need for me to make a brand new, and it costs money to make these things, so we just keep using the same ones. But when you watch it, you'll get the idea. There's samples of our shows on here, and you can show it to other Muslims to let them know how important it is. The United States of America needs us. And that's the name of our program tonight. The U.S. needs us. Get it? And that's right there. Us. Some of the American people, they might say, no, we don't. And some of the Muslims might say, no, we don't. They might. But I will tell you that for the most part, we Muslims contribute a lot. We give a lot of benefit wherever we are. One of the things that you can know immediately, Muslims are trustworthy. So people are secure when they live in a neighborhood of real Muslims. Another thing is that we are organized, we're punctual, because every day, 5 times a day, we got our act together. We stop, we pray. That's important. Also, if you're a neighbor to a Muslim, you're never going to starve to death, because neighbors do take care of their neighbors. This is something for Muslims. We don't care if you're a Muslim or not. If you live next door, I have a responsibility. I have to share my food with you. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he told us what means in English. He's not a believer who fills his stomach, then he goes to sleep at night while his neighbor's stomach remains empty. He's not a believer. So they ask him, Ya Rasulullah, who's my neighbor? You know, like this guy or that guy or which one? Arba'in, 40 in any direction. 40 in any direction. When was the last time you knocked on your neighbor's door and said, how you doing? What's going on? You guys doing all right? Need any food or anything? Most of us never. But I'll help you, inshallah, get started doing it the right way. We got Ramadan coming up. So every night in Ramadan, we're all breaking our fast. Maybe you're going to come home, eat, and then run to the masjid, something like that. If you see any of your neighbors getting out of their car, going in their house, because that's about the time people are wrapping things up, you know. You just say, how you doing? How's everything? Listen, we got some extra food here. You guys like to share? Maybe they'll say no the first time. We got 30 days to keep reminding them. 30 days. How you doing? Here's some, you know, whatever. Maybe you got some candy, sweets, things like that. Share with them. I never turn down sweet stuff. You'd be surprised. Maybe the neighbor will say, you know, we're having a little problem with lately, and if you got any cereal for kids, my kids are kind of hungry. Oh, man, I'll tell you what, there's a grand opportunity to get 2 rewards immediately. One is the dawah, because you're given dawah immediately, because you're a Muslim, they know that. And you're giving food. So you have a reward with the people, because they're going to be like saying, hey, look, the Muslim's okay, I'm going to listen to him. But Allah, He's rewarding you because you took care of your neighbor. Very important. Then Eid. Oh. And you know how many people bring stuff to the masjid on Eid, right? They bring rice, they bring all kinds of stuff, right? Now, at our masjid back in Texas, what we used to ask the Muslims, please don't bring rice. Don't bring rice. Because most of the people that we know, they don't want rice. They want sugar. Because it's expensive, and all their kids are eating sugar like crazy. And the cereal in the box. So they started bringing cereal in the boxes. They brought the sugar. And we still had a lot of rice. When I would take the car, we would fill up the whole car full of it. Full. And then we go into the neighborhoods where people are hungry, and we would pass it out, pass it out, pass it out, pass it out. People would be standing in the street thanking us. The old ladies are crying. The children are running around in circles. They're happy. Look, we got some food, you know. Eid al-Adha, a couple months later, you're back again with the food, and they're like, oh, the Muslims are back. Huh? And I did this in my own neighborhood. You know what happened? We had Eid al-Adha. It was quite a while, and then we had Eid al-Fitr. Short time, Eid al-Adha again, just over a year. Then a few months went by. My neighbor came over, and he said, have you guys got any more celebrations coming up? And I know what he was thinking. He didn't say it, but, you know, you got any more celebrations coming up? My kids are hungry. And I told him, you know what? we still have some things, and we get stuff all the time. Just, if you don't mind to help me, I would like to give it to you. They will say, oh, yeah, we'll help you. They're nice. You open up a beautiful opening. A beautiful door is open to these people now because they see us as, first of all, we're normal human beings. And second of all, you're generous. So this is only one of the many contributions the Muslims have. But another big contribution, a lot of Muslims are working in various high-level areas. They are. For instance, we have professors all over the United States. They're Muslim, and they're very good in their particular area, very smart. We also have a lot of doctors and surgeons, and some even in the politics. One in our area around here is a congressional candidate. In fact, he was talking about it last night. I don't know how he came out, but the election's today. I guess it's not over yet, is it? They're still voting, yeah. We'll know tomorrow, how he came out. And that means if he has an office, whatever office he has, at least he'll do as much as he can to be fair to everybody. And a lot of times people don't do that. And you might think, well, if they put a Christian in, he's only going to be fair to Christians. Or if you put a Jew in, he'll only be fair to Jews. It's not true. It isn't true. But a lot of times, people don't care about religion at all. They're not going to be fair to anybody. And this is why it's important to have somebody in there who really cares, will make a difference. Also, when Muslims vote, the candidates know that. The people running for office, if they know that Muslims are going to vote, they're going to look at what do you Muslims need because I want you to vote for me. In some countries, you don't have any choice. You vote or you don't vote because there's only one candidate. True or false? I remember one country I was visiting and they had a vote that came up many years ago, and there was different people running. But when it was all over, any votes they got, they gave them over to the one who was in the leader anyway. So what does that mean? Duh. So when we have a candidate running, we should at least look at him and see if he's qualified for the job, if you think he's good. And then if you're a citizen, you can't vote if you're not a citizen. But if you're a citizen, you should vote. And again, that means a contribution to the United States because we care about what that guy is going to do from a moral point of view, not just what he's going to do for us. So these are just a few of the many things that Muslims bring. But what's the biggest thing that we bring? Haqq. And haqq, the haqq of la ilaha illallah, the truth of there's no God to worship but Allah, is what will save the human beings from the insanity, the addiction, and the oppression that goes on all over the world. Because when people follow the haqq of la ilaha illallah, they don't do those things. This is another big advantage that Muslims bring when they come. For me, when I came to Islam, that was something very important to me. I remember when we were doing what's called Muslim awareness. I don't know if you heard about this. In the campus on the university grounds, they have a table they set up. And Muslim Week or Islamic Awareness Week, they put all the stuff out on the table. And you give things out to the people, talk to them about what's Islam. It's nice. They had one pamphlet that I really liked above all the other pamphlets. We had pamphlets talking about 4 wives in Islam. We had pamphlets talking about Islam is not terrorism. We had pamphlets for everything. But the one that I like, human rights in Islam. Why I like it is because I didn't know. I was brand new Muslim. I did not know how important all the different rights are. In Islam, first, Allah has all the right to be worshipped, no partner. That's number one. Number two, the Prophet ﷺ has the right to be followed because he's the messenger. Then after that, your mother. And according to the hadith, your mother, and then your father. So your parents are having the rights. Then after that, you have rights. Your body has rights. You have to take care of your body. You're supposed to get exercise, supposed to sleep, supposed to eat properly. And let me think, which one of those do I have? Well, none of those right now, but I'm working on it. Also, your siblings, brothers and sisters, have rights. Your aunts, uncles, cousins have rights. Your neighbors, if they're your relatives, have rights. If they're not your relatives, have rights. If they're Muslim, have rights. If they're not Muslim, they have rights. When I read this, I was like, really? Because oftentimes you think, well, our guys, just us. But this is a much bigger us. Allah says in the Quran, and you know this better than me, that He's the one who created the heavens and earth. He created everything. He created Adam, alayhi salam, from dirt. And from Adam He created his mate. And from the two He brought forth many tribes and nations. And He says He made us different so we could recognize each other. It would be funny, wouldn't it, if we all looked exactly alike? Could you imagine? Think about that for a minute. If we all looked exactly alike, that means everybody here would look like me. Huh? No, we can't all be cute. Too bad. Anyway, what? But seriously, it means that every human being is your brother and sister. Not in faith. No, they're not Muslims. But they're your brother and sister in humanity. And they are a part of us. Us. Who is our enemy? Because there's us, which means there's a group. And obviously there's somebody not us out there. So who's the us that we're against? The Irish? No. English? Hey, be careful. German? Black people? White people? Be careful again. Yellow people? Who is the enemy out here? Is it the Jewish people? Look out. Christian people? No. Actually, there is another creation out there. They're called the jinn. And from the jinn are some devils. Allah warns us about the jinn, the devils from the jinn, but also some devils from the humans. It's at the end of the Quran, the very last words that Allah tells you, seek refuge with Allah from minul jinnati wan nas, from these devils, from the jinn, and from the human beings. So that's the real enemy, isn't it? And not all of the jinn are devils, and not all the people are devils. But there are some, and that's the warning. Let's look at what Allah said in Surah Baqarah. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu udkhulu fi silmi kafatan. O you who are coming to the right belief, la ilaha illallah, enter into Islam perfectly. Come in correctly, the right way, completely. Don't leave half of yourself hanging out the back. Get in and don't follow the footsteps of a shaitan, the devil. Well, wait a minute. Hold on. What's the footsteps of the devil? What's the footsteps of the devil? Then we're not going to worry about, was he a size 11 and a half foot? That's not the subject, is it? What did he do? Check it out. Do you remember that he was a worshiper of Allah? He was. He worshipped Allah. Did you know that? At what time? Exactly when the sun is just about to come up. You just see it right there. And the opposite when it goes down and when it's straight over the head. Right? That's when he used to worship. And those are the 3 times we're not supposed to. The 3 times he did are the 3 times we don't. Check it out. So he's a worshiper of Allah. In fact, there's some stories that say that there were some bad jinn, really bad jinn. This is not related to bad vodka. This is something else. These are characters that were really bad. And here now is him, a worshiper, a good guy, and he wants to stop them. For a while, he went away from them. And then he came back, reinforced with the malaika, the angels. God sent the angels with him. And he came back and he was fighting against these bad guys till he destroyed them. Then he was elevated up in his worship. And that's how he was beside the malaika when they were praying, when they were worshiping. So if you know the story of Iblis, he's not an angel. He's not. He's from the jinn, which are made from smokeless fire, whereas angels are made from light. But he was worshiping him with, that's pretty high up. That's a pretty good deal, right? And he had that. Then you read in the Quran that when Allah ordered the angels to bow down, all the angels bowed down, but not Iblis. And he was a jinn. He didn't bow down. Angels have no choice. But Allah gave him choice. Allah gives all of us choice. But Allah already knew he wasn't going to bow down. He knew that before he created him. But still, it was with him to make the decision, and he made the wrong decision. He didn't bow down. Now watch what happens. Allah tells him, if you disobey, you were told to bow down. The only thing we told you to do is bow down. You didn't do it. He could have said, oh, please forgive me. I'm sorry. Let me put my head down on the ground. He could have done that. Instead, he made dua. He made dua. He knows who Allah is. He knows what to do. He said, let me take Adam and his children all to hell with me. I'll show you this guy is not worthy of this great position that you're trying to say we should bow down. No. He made dua. And Allah granted his dua. So he knows there's Allah, right? So be careful. It's not just about knowing that there's Allah. That's why I said there's 2 things. You have to know there's Allah, and you have to obey Allah and do the right deeds. One more quick look. His footsteps, because that's what we want to know. What's his footsteps? He was a believer to an extent, at least. He knows there's God, and he was worshiping God, and he was raised up real high, and he was commanded to do one thing: bow down. And he didn't do it. Look at us. How many of us? We say we're worshipers of Allah. We believe in Allah, right? But then when it comes time to obey, do we do it? And look, وَمَا أُمِرُوا إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ دِينَهُ حُنَفَاءَ وَيُقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَيُؤْتُوا الزَّكَاةَ وَذَلِكَ دِينُ الْقَيِّمَةِ. The people before us, the Jews and the Christians, had been ordered nothing more than this: to worship Allah alone, without any partners, establish the salawat, the 5 daily worships for us, and pay the zakah, help the poor people. That's it. Keep the deen pure for Allah. Establish the salah, pay the zakah. And this is the deen most clear. This is the way of Islam. Simple as that. So this is what we're asked to do, the same thing. If we do it, tawfiq, success. If not, problem. Big problem. So again, if we want to understand the ayah, read the tafsir of it from Ibn Taymiyyah. It's even bigger, a lot bigger than this little guy can do. But we got the essence of it. Shaitan, the devil, had a chance, big chance. But and Allah told you what was wrong. What was wrong in his head? Ask yourself a question. What's wrong in a guy's head that he will turn down paradise and go to hell? Why? Prophet ﷺ said that nobody's going to stay in the hellfire. Everybody's going to leave except those who refuse to leave. The companions, they said, wait a minute. Who would refuse to leave? He said, whoever hears about me and the message in this life and refuses, they refuse to leave the hellfire. And again, what is it? What's wrong with people? Now stop and think. The guy knows, but he still doesn't behave properly? Why? And Allah answered the question. Kibr. What's kibr? Arrogance? Yeah. But what's the big deal about kibr? You know, maybe the fact that I have these amazing looks, or the fact that maybe somebody will say I'm so rich, or the fact that I have a big position, or the fact that blah, 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 whatever, right? So this makes him have kibr, arrogance. It's not just that he thinks he's a hot shot. It's when he does what Iblis did, which was to say, I'm better than him. As soon as you say you're better than somebody else, you made a big mistake. Our Prophet ﷺ never, ever put people down, never made himself to look bigger than somebody else, and he was always ready to listen to anybody, to stop, turn his body toward them, and pay attention to them. On the rare occasion that he was trying to do two things at one time, and this happened, that he was trying to give the dawah to some of the Meccan leaders in Mecca, and a blind man came up to him and asked him something, and the blind man can't see him, and so the Prophet ﷺ was like, I can't do two things at once, and so he frowned and he turned away. Abasa wa tawalla. And that's when Allah even blamed Muhammad ﷺ for this. He said, how do you do this? Because you think these guys are more important than this one, come and deal. And after this, after these ayahs came about that, whenever this man would come, the blind man would come to the circles, the Prophet ﷺ would say, this is the man, because of him, Allah sent this verse on me. And so we understand from this that we never have the right to look down on anybody for anything. So I think we got an idea now how beneficial the Muslims are in any community where they go. When Muslims live up to Islam, when they are really true Muslims, and they do business with people, when they interact with other people, what happens? You have to be patient, though, but you have to interact. You can't hide. Don't hide in the house or hide in the masjid. No, that's not going to work, because Allah is not going to let you get away with it. When the Muslims went to India, what happened? When the Muslims went to China, what happened? In fact, everywhere the Muslims went, so many people came to Islam. I would like for somebody to do some research and come back and tell us one person that came to Islam at the point of a sword. One. And you will never find it. What you will find is that were people fighting with swords and put them down and accepted Islam, and then everybody stopped against that person and did not kill him, except on one occasion. And that guy got in so much trouble with the Prophet ﷺ. He said, I think the guy was just saying it because he didn't, he just didn't want us to kill him. And Prophet ﷺ said, did you open his heart? Did you look in his heart? So, again, think about it. These stories about Islam spread with the sword, if anybody accepted Islam under pressure of any kind, for instance, a man wants to get married to a girl, but the parents said, no, you can't marry her unless you're a Muslim. Well, that means what? That's pressure on him, right? Because if he said, well, ordinarily I wouldn't do it, but I'll do it for her, I would like to get married to her. If he did, it can't be Islam. Because the word aslama, the action, contains the word in it, sincerity. And you can't force anybody to be sincere. So real Islam is coming from the heart. Has to be. You have to feel it and say, you know what? I know there's God. I want to do what he wants me to do. I want to. And when you do, this is entering Islam. And alhamdulillah rabbil alameen huwa alladhi ja'alna muslimin. What I brought with me today, these are just some samples here. As you go out the door back there, there is a big selection back there. Well, it's still the same selection, but you can pick it up. You can make a donation to keep Guidance TV on the air. But now comes the commercial, and I have to tell you about Guidance TV. Guidance TV is on satellite, the same satellite that Arabsat, the one, if you get other channels for, Arabic or whatever, you'll find us on there. It's called Galaxy 19, and we are there. You just tune it in. If you don't know how to do it, it's real simple. Go to the website, and there you go, guideus.tv. It'll tell you how to get it. If you have a satellite receiver already, maybe you can get it. There it is. It'll tell you how to do it. On the other hand, you can watch this, of course, on the internet, but you can download the app. Let me show you what the app looks like. I don't know if this, I think it should pick up in here. I don't know. What we did on the app, I made 4 things for you, actually. One is the channel. One is the news. You can see the latest news right there for Muslims. This is not going to tell you the football scores or the weather outside, but it is going to tell you, for instance, drinking sunnah for Muslims. Did you know Muslims, there's certain things that's okay for Muslims to do with drinking? And some things you're supposed to do with drinking? Well, you'll find out about it there. Nothing to do with khamr, by the way. And then, music, is it haram? Find out. What about taking Jews and Christians for your friends? The article's right there. There are many articles that you can go out and watch. They're right there. Many, many articles. In fact, we have 2,200 articles, more than that you can read and learn a lot about what's going on. That's the news. Then the events, come on now. The events calendar is there. This will tell you that we have Sheikh Salam Al-Amri is fiqh for the beginners. That's coming up. These are live events. All of these are live events that we have. I'll tell you if I'm going to be somewhere. Yes, I'm in Houston this weekend. All right. Then how to donate. You can donate a small amount every month, and you'll be helping keep the channel on the air. It will tell you all about that. And then finally, the channel itself. Let me see, where's the...
Inside his heart, why he said, La ilaha illallah. So usually, whenever we have any action, then we have to look back and think about how to control that point and that case. We will find that the problems that happen to many people in the world, it's actually because of the anger.
Okay. Now, that's one of our programs. This is on the air right now. But we added something. What do you see this? Just a couple months ago, we added the radio. This is Guidus Radio. Real simple. You can put this on in the car.
Break, and we will be back, inshallah.
And that's the radio. You can hook it into the car if you got Bluetooth, something like that.
Upon entering the home, Bismillahi walajna wa Bismillahi kharajna wa ala Allahi rabbina tawakkalna. In the name of Allah we enter, and in the name of Allah we leave, and upon our Lord we place our trust.
Can you imagine? And we have Quran every hour with translation. There it is, actually. That's right after Ayatul Kursi. So imagine that we've got, this is broadcasting all over the world on the internet and the apps and the radio, all of it's around the world. Also the satellite. But right here in Los Angeles, we have our own antenna under the FCC ruling. That means we're able to broadcast all over this whole area on channel 35.2. If you want to show somebody Guidus TV, it's right on the antenna. They can, any TV. They don't have to have cable, satellite, internet, nothing. $5, buy an antenna at Radio Shack, plug it in the back of the TV, and they're watching it. We also have it in New York City, and Dallas and Fort Worth, and Columbus, Ohio. Now that sounds like we're doing a lot. It's not enough. I want to have it every major city. That's number one. Number two, we just made our agreement to start in Australia. I want to do the same thing over there with the radio. They have many radio stations. Like every single city there has a radio station for Islam. But it's all in Arabic. And only a very few people can understand it. So we're working on putting everything that we have in English, making agreements with the folks there to get it out. So that's what we're doing there. If you want to join us, and you should, because it's the only one that there is, if you would like to join us, it's very simple. Begin by making dua. We ask Allah to keep us sincere for Him. And think of things that you can do to help promote it on Facebook, Twitter, blogs, the internet. Send it out in text message and tell people about it. It's very simple. The other thing you can do, if you know somebody that has talent in this area, that wants to do recording, that wants to do the kind of work that we do, that wants to do it for sake of Allah, we have the summer internship program open. They can sign up at guideus.tv/join. Then it will ask you the questions, what your background is, what you have in the way of languages and resources, things that you want to do. And finally, you can always donate every month to keep us on the air. To give you an idea about it, if you would like to advertise on a TV channel, a local TV channel, not international or something, that's unbelievable. It's millions. Like during the big football game every year that they have, it's like $2.5 million or something like that for 30 seconds. But local programming, usually it's $1,000 to $1,500 for 30 seconds. That's normal. Los Angeles small channel like we have is $1,500, 30 seconds, $3,000 for 1 minute. But our channel is not open to advertising, nor do we take any kind of commercials, and we don't take subscriptions. We want to keep it free for Allah. And I had a lot of criticism from Muslims. They said, why you do that? I said, so you have a chance to join me and you get reward. That's why. But if you don't want to join, don't. But don't come up with this thing and tell me to turn it into a commercial business, because I don't want to do that. If you want to start a TV channel, go ahead. I want this to be free to air. And check it out. You can sponsor an entire hour, not a minute, an hour for only $3.33 a day. How many of you can't believe that? How many of you don't believe that's possible? It's not possible, right? It is, because all of us are working for free. There's a few brothers that have to have enough money just to pay their rent, but all of us are doing this sake of Allah. And if you really want to do dawah in America and reach thousands of people, this is it. You can think about it, but when tomorrow morning you wake up, you say, gee, I missed a great chance. What was I thinking about? $3.33 a day comes out to $100 a month. That will take care of an hour. $50 a month takes care of a half hour. $25 a month takes care of 15 minutes. Now remember what we said, what does it cost to advertise for just 1 minute? $3,000 on other channels. Think about it. But while you're thinking about it, at least take the bumper stickers and put them on your car. At least take a video or an audio and make some support for the channel, because it is only us that are keeping this real message going. As far as people coming to Islam, every day I get information coming to me through the internet, on my Facebook accounts, and I have many, and the Twitter telling us that it helped them get to Islam. And sometimes we even give shahada on the spot. I didn't give shahada to anybody today, but I stand ready to do that. Is there anybody here that's not Muslim? Do we have any non-Muslim with us today? Anybody? You should have brought some. That's my specialty. So inshallah, you watch and you'll see people coming to Islam on the channel. Also, when you go to this website, we have samples of the people that came in recently. When we were in Australia, we had quite a few. When I got back here, I was surprised how many we got at the, Saturday we had the conference. Were you at the conference? Were you there when we give the shahadas on the stage? Was that nice? Felt good? Yeah, it did to me too, man. We had, first it was a lady and a man. And I think another lady came up, right? Right, yeah. It was really amazing. Beautiful stuff. So, inshallah, anybody have any question? Otherwise, we're going to wrap it up. Any question? Any comment? Anybody want to add something to it? Yes, brother, go ahead. How I became a Muslim? I was trying to convert Muslims to be Christians. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I had believed a lot of things that I got from the news, from the TV, And that's why I spend so much effort on the TV to try to show the other side of it, because what I learned from the TV was all wrong. It was lies. It was false. So I wanted to spend the rest of my life trying to show the opposite side. I was in television business, by the way, so I understood some of the things. It's not new to me. It doesn't mean I'm any good at it, but at least it's not new to me anyway, you know. But I met a Muslim, and when I was trying to convert him, I liked his personality and his way, his akhlaq, behavior, so much. And when I realized that this person is really sincere, he was sincere in everything he did. And coming from a show business background, I was in outdoor entertainment and stuff ever since I was little. So I know very much about people that are not sincere, you know. So when you meet somebody that is sincere, it's really a beautiful thing. I studied it and thought of ways to try to, you know, argue against Islam. But the strongest argument was for Islam. And he didn't really want to debate with me. So it wound up in the end, I accepted Islam. My wife, my father, my children grew up as Muslim. And I've seen many. Allah let me be there and watch priests, pastors, ministers, and a bishop even enter Islam. Saw many people come to Islam. Sometimes one or two or three, sometimes hundreds, even thousands of people stand up for Shahada. And I get to see it. I like it. Makes me happy. Anybody else have a question? By the way, if you would like, you can get the real story on the internet at www.islamtomorrow.com/Yusuf, or just go to yusufestes.com. yusufestes.com, and the story is there, inshallah. Yes, brother. That's a very good point. This kind of dawah is the most local dawah you can have, because you got relatives, you got friends, you got people, and they're looking at you going, why did you become a Muslim? You know? Are you crazy? Are you insane? Do you go to the bomb classes every Tuesday night? You know, that kind of stuff. But check it out. In a prison, it's even tougher, right? Because a lot of them make their shahadas in prison, in jail. Then when they get out, it's double problem. Oh, you went in there with a bunch of criminals. That's where they keep all those criminal Muslims anyway, right? That's how they'll talk to them. So how about those guys? And when I told them they have a responsibility, they're like, how can we give dawah? We're in prison. Sheikh Muhtar Sabri and I were down in South Carolina at the time, and I told them, okay, next time one of your relatives or friend or somebody comes to the unit where you're at, tell them, I want this website, not this one, but another one. I want you to go to this link. There's a page. I want you to print it out and bring it to me, because they can't do internet in a prison. And then tell them, don't read it. You know, when Allah told Adam, don't eat the fruit, he knew he was going to do it. It was not like a surprise, right? So sure enough, Sheikh Muhtar come up to me in Washington. He said, I got a surprise for you. He said, remember when you told the inmates to, you know, tell their relatives, print it out, bring it to them, but don't read it. One of the inmates told him, he said, my sister came to visit me and she was wearing a scarf on her head. And I said, what are you doing? She said, Assalamu alaikum. I said, how did you learn this? What's up with that? She said, I become a Muslim. How? I said, you told me to get that article and print it out and not read it and bring it to you. She said there was no way. But I was going to read it. I read it. I went to the masjid, made shahada, and here I am. So I took advantage of that experience and said, do it this way. Now this one right here is similar to the article, except it's more profound because it just goes real quick. It's not like you have to sit there and read it. So you can meet somebody, keep a couple in your pocket. And when you meet somebody, you say, listen, especially because you're talking to them and they said, are you a Muslim? You know? And you say, yes. Oh, really? Yeah. As a matter of fact, though, you know, I do have a question about it. Yeah? I wonder if you'll help me. Yeah? Especially the sisters. They do real good with this one. Because they'll say, why do you wear that rag on your head? Who's making you do all that? Yeah, you know, maybe you could help me. Yeah, I'm right here. What do you need? Well, I have a question. Yes, anything. Just ask me. I want you to check this out. Because this guy is talking about some stuff, you know. But after you hear it, will you please send me the email and I'll get back to you because it's a big question. Oh, okay. Be sure you do it soon because this question's really bothering me. Sure, yeah. Next date? Okay, I'll listen to it. Wow, I learned, whoa. What's the question? Well, the question is, how do you like it? And I got another one. See? As simple as that. If you just think about it, it's not a complicated thing. The problem is you're too close. This is your own relatives, they're not going to listen to you. If you let somebody independent, they don't even know, bring me in, let me do the thing, I do it, see what happens. One of two things. Either they will accept Islam or they won't ever bother you again because it's too clear. We're bringing up the points, the important points, talking about what Islam is, what it isn't, and the follow-up from Christianity. Just as Christians understand the follow-up from Judaism, they should easily understand, hey, this is the continuation. And we believe Jesus is coming back. If I don't believe it, I can't be a Muslim. Serious. There are Christians who don't believe it, and they think they're good Christians. They start telling you about the Holy Ghost and blah, blah, blah. No, just real simple. Everything that Jesus really said, we know because it's in the Quran. And some of it is exactly what you find in the Bible even today. But some of it is even better. And then ask them, check it out, read it, see. But one thing I would give them good advice, don't debate your relatives. Do not try to debate them, especially in front of somebody else, because it just causes hard feelings. We do have some great things for new Muslims. We have a project, we just released it today, and we were mailing it out to learn the Arabic language. We've just started this new, if anybody wants to sign up for that, that's a great chance. It's free. You can learn to read and write in Arabic in a short time. You'll learn the whole alphabet in a few hours. You'll learn how to put it together within 6 hours, and then you'll be able to rock and roll with it. You'll be able to really go to town. Anybody else have a question? Yes, brother. Wa alaikum salam, brother. Thank you. Is he from Jamaica? Jibril? That's a very famous video.
You didn't say much in the video, but you spoke to him and it's very emotional.
Actually, that's because you don't have my video. That's the video that came from the government. The government had a microphone on the stage. When I walked off the stage, my mic was on, and it's recorded for Guidus TV. Guidus TV, we play that, and you can hear everything I told him. But what I was telling him, I was asking him questions, the same questions I always ask people. Do you believe there's a God? Do you want to do what he wants you to do? Are you ready to subscribe to what we've been talking about on the stage? And if you are, you have to know you have to do this sincerely for him, etc. He started crying, and I asked him to do shahada. He made a shahada. And then everybody got excited. And then afterwards, I didn't get to follow up. I asked some other people there to stay with him and help him, and they did. Today, he works in Abu Dhabi in a Dawah center, helping other people know Islam. His name is Jibril now. It was Gabriel. He took Jibril.
For us to give da'wah here, we have too many barriers. Language, culture, the way to approach.
Brother, I'm not joking when I tell you this has really helped, because there's so many things on there in simple English. You'll be surprised. But one brother never even got to see the TV channel. He just saw the message on there, and he asked, he was upstate New York, he asked the owner of the car, he said, what does that mean? He started trying to explain it to him. He said, I'm fascinated, I want to know more. So the brother called me. And I happened to be in the New York area. We went, we sat together. 20 minutes later, the man made shahada. The next day, we got a text message from him. He said, this is the best day of my life. He was so happy to be a Muslim. Yeah. So be sure you put it on your car. If you didn't do anything else, at least do that. And if anybody said, well, I can't afford to donate, well then, okay, maybe somebody else will put a little extra in there. But be sure everybody put one on your car. And if you have 2 cars, you're welcome to take 2. If you got 3 cars, you can take 3. If you have 4 cars, you should put a lot in the donation box over there. Alhamdulillah. Anybody have a question? And then we'll wrap it up. What about the sisters? You guys have anything? Anything? If anybody have something you want to write it down, you can throw it down on these guys. But don't write it on a tin can, right? Conk. Anybody have a question? No? No? Okay, mashallah. We'll wrap it up with that. My son-in-law back there is Ahmed, and he's got the table back there. You can look through the stuff as you like, inshallah. And it's been great to be with all of you tonight. Tomorrow, early 4 o'clock in the morning, we got to get up and roll out to Ohio. So I'd like to just make some dua for us. Allah accept from us. Allah forgive us. Allah give us His Jannah for those who Allah. Rabbana atina fi dunya hasan wa fil akhirati hasan wa qina adhaban nar. Ameen. Rabbana la tuzigh qulubana ba'da idh hadaytana wa hab lana min ladunka rahmatan innaka antal wahhab. Ameen. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka Hamidum Majid. الحمد لله رب العالمين هو الذي جعلنا مسلمين جزاكم الله خير السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. I forgot something. I forgot to tell you how to get the Arabic class. ArabicInEnglish.com. ArabicInEnglish.com. I forgot. I'm sorry about that. Assalamu alaikum.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح